So I did a Google search on musicians that can't read music, and some of these musicians I already knew that they couldn't read music. Um, Jimi Hendrix, um, Eddie Van Halen, Prince, Eric Clapton. Now, Michael Jackson, if you read this section on him, he claims that he couldn't read music, but what he would do is he would sing his melodic ideas into a cassette recorder, and his production team would then transcribe them. The Beatles, Irving Berlin, it's interesting. He couldn't read music, but he had others transcribe his music. Dave Brubeck, Freddie Mercury, Jimmy Page. So what are these musicians doing? Basically, they're playing by ear and playing from memory, which those are two very good skills. And they made careers, professional careers out of them. They were very talented, or are very talented. But sight reading is also a skill, and it's a powerful tool, and it's something you can develop. Now, I took some notes about what I want to discuss, and you're at an advantage if you know how to sight read, even if you're not very good at it. You can still kind of decipher the music on the page and work your way through it. It might take a little while, but that's okay. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. You can learn complicated music without having to transcribe it. Transcribing can be very time consuming, so you might want to just get the sheet music and just work on it. You can revisit songs. There's lots of songs that I've already played, forgotten about, and I've come back to. I just pull out the sheet music and it starts coming back to me. A lot of them come back to me pretty quick. So you can refresh your songs from that you've worked on in the past. Playing with others that know how to sight read is good too. There's an advantage to that. You could all study the music separately, and then when you come together, you can work on it. I love the fact that you can say, let's work on bars 16 through 20. You can look at the sheet music and you know exactly where you want to work on. Let's say you got the majority of the song down, but you want to work on, the bridge or the chorus or a certain section. You just point out what measure you want to start at and you just work from there. You can zero in on hard sections, which is, a lot of us have to do that. There's the beginning of the sheet music might be easy, or some of the music might be easy, and then there's always a section that's, tough. and you can just hone in on it and work on that section. I'm also including writing down your ideas. So it's just not just sight reading, but it's also writing music. And you should be able to do that. It's a very good tool. I've written down a lot of my ideas, on notation software. Now I'm using Dorico, which I have a basic tutorial on using that program. It's great. You could be, working at your piano and you come up with a musical idea and you want to keep that idea, because if you don't write it down, the next day you might be like, what was my idea? I don't remember. I remember it was a C major 7th with something, but I don't remember the melody. But if you write it down, you can come back to it later. So it's a really great tool to have. So I suggest incorporating sight reading into your practice. Get your feet wet with it. Start with a good beginner book. I started with John Thompson's, adult beginner book on piano. And I'm sure there's a lot of good books out there to get you started. And you can kind of ease your way into it. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Now, I'm not great at sight reading. I'm still working on it. It's kind of a lifelong thing, but it's a great tool to have. And like I said, you will be at an advantage if you can sight read. So that's my tip for this week, and we'll see you next time.